What's going on, everyone? It's LJ. I'm here, you're there, that's fine, and this is what's spinning. Check it out. So if you're new to It's What's Spinning, It's What's Spinning is an unintentional album review. It's not necessarily grabbing an album and saying,
"Hey, I think I'll do a review of this."
It's just a matter of, it's what's spinning. It's what's on the turntable, and maybe what wouldn't get off the turntable all day. So what better way to cap it than by talking about it, sharing it with you, sharing my thoughts and comments on it, and encouraging you to leave your own in the comments, which I absolutely dig. It's What's Spinning is album number 5 from the almighty Slayer. Released on October 25th, 1990. This is Slayer, in my opinion, at their absolute peak, Seasons in the Abyss. 1990 was a huge year for metal. We got albums from Anthrax with Persistence of Time, King Diamond's The Eye, Judas Priest's Painkiller, Testament's Souls of Black, one of my all-time favorites, Danzig's Lucifuge, Iron Maiden's No Prayer for the Dying, a major label debut from Pantera with Cowboys from Hell, and Megadeth's Rust in Peace. But now, let's talk about Seasons in the Abyss. For me, Seasons in the Abyss continues the consciously more accessible trail that Slayer blazed on South of Heaven. They went for breakneck pace on Rain and Blood, slowed it down with South of Heaven. Seasons in the Abyss is kind of a combination of the two. It increases the speed a little bit over South of Heaven. It's a 40-minute trip of absolute chaotic riffing, with Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman trading off leads that rival any well-known twin guitar attack like Judas Priest. And it's thunderous drumming from Dave Lombardo, who absolutely pummels, just punishes the drum kit. 7 years, 4 albums in as a band, this album spawned Slayer's first and second music videos. War Ensemble came first. Full black and white live footage. It debuted on MTV's Headbangers Ball. I'll never forget that night. A video for the title track, Seasons in the Abyss, followed, and that was filmed, I would later find out, at the Giza Pyramids in Egypt. Both absolutely demanded your attention. So simple in hindsight, but they just kept you glued to the screen as a teenage headbanger at the time. Finger on the VCR's record and pause buttons, just waiting to make your own personal greatest hits tape. Hindsight being 2020, should have just recorded the whole episode. The tour resulted in the absolutely sprawling double live and amazing LP, Decade of Aggression. This is an amazing album, but back to Seasons in the Abyss. For me, I think why it works, I don't normally dissect an album or labor over details. I think a great album should just be enjoyed, not studied. But this one and a 25-year relationship have made it impossible to ignore the detail. This is one of few albums that just jumps out to me as having been labored over when it comes not only to sequencing and lack of time in between tracks. They move really quick. There's like a 1-second gap in between songs, and it just creates perfection in flow. The songs vary from whiplash speed metal like War Ensemble to atmospheric like Dead Skin Mask to intense stomping beats like Blood Red or straight up groove metal like Skeletons of Society. And it all culminates with the epic journey that is Seasons in the Abyss. It's got airtight production, outstanding songwriting, and conventional song structures, which for Slayer was really uncommon. The obvious moment, I think, in this album is Dead Skin Mask. It's full of imagination, it builds to this massive climax, and it trails off with a single sustained note. Played live, it's identifiable from the first note. For me, my personal favorite song here is Seasons in the Abyss. It's just two neck-snapping classic Slayer tracks come ahead of it, and they segue into an epic send-off to an epic album. It's a journey. If you're familiar with Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss, the title track, is a lot like Hell Awaits. It just has these different sections that just keep it going. It almost seems like different songs piled together, but that's not it. It's just an amazing track. As far as faults, there's not a damn one here, except that sadly, this would be drummer Dave Lombardo's last album with Slayer until 2006 with Christ Illusion. Obviously, it's an album that's super important to me and I've loved from the day it was released. It immediately sat with my ears. You know, anything that came before Seasons in the Abyss is amazing, but Seasons is just an easy point of entry for anyone into Slayer. It's massively memorable. It's full of fire, intensity, melody, groove, and outstanding musicianship. Just demons and spirits align here, and Satan cashed in his promissory note, and Slayer created a swan song of metallic greatness. Swan song? They continued on, LJ. I know, but they just, from this point, they kind of started a descent into change. Not necessarily all bad, but not all good, and they'd never again replicate anything this powerful from start to finish. Absolute perfection. And that is It's What's Spinning. That is Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss from 1990. Highly recommend anyone check it out that hasn't. Revisit it if you've forgotten about it, and feel free to leave a comment if you have one. Later.